Hello everyone, still Sunday, 19th of June. I was on my way home. I've probably posted the other video by now, but I thought I'd get out the camera and film a little bit more. I've been here in this part of the world over 20 years, and when I first came here I didn't have any work, I didn't really have any friends. When I did start working it was only part-time, just enough to pay the rent and stuff, just enough so I could stay here. I had a lot of free time, so I used to get on my bike a lot and do a lot of cycling. I often say to people that live here, I've probably seen more of this city, more of the surrounding areas than people that have lived there all their lives. Very true, I'm sure of it. But some things have been quite a while now, so I'm not quite sure sometimes if it's memory, or if it's here, or if it's somewhere else, or if it's a dream, or I've seen it on TV. But after about 20 minutes, half an hour cycling around and asking a few people, I actually found a very old church here that I do have a memory of being here back 20 plus years ago. I wish I could have posted the people I met. First guy I asked, he was a Norwegian. He wasn't that great in Swedish. He wasn't very good in English, so I didn't get very far there. But then I met an old lady. She was in her 90s. I asked her, I had a lovely conversation with her, how things were, how things are, changes, good and bad, in the area, and she seemed generally interested in talking to me. My Swedish is fluent. I can be hesitant sometimes. I can have trouble finding the right word from time to time. But I can definitely make myself understood, can definitely have a conversation with anyone without any problem at all. People just hear I've got a dialect. That's what they think. I'm from Denmark or Norway occasionally. But it was a wonderful conversation. I actually said goodbye to her and wished her a good day. And as I cycled away, I must admit, I felt teary-eyed. I mean, it's quite funny to get emotional over something like that, but she was a wonderful old lady, wonderful memories, and that's the last time I'll see her, of course it is. But it's moments like that, just cherish the moment. It's just the perfect moment in time. There's a bit of me that wish I'd known her, of course. I wish I would meet her again, wish I could have another conversation with her, but just gotta let it go. It's not gonna happen. Anyway, after a few wrong turns, a bit of confusion, I was actually cycling the wrong way before I asked her. I found this church and I thought I'd film it. It's again, the environment is beautiful. It's a really old church. I was surprised. I just read the information board outside the church. It's in both Swedish and English. I think it might have also been in German, I'm not sure. But and I can't remember, I just read it, but I can't remember the exact date. But the church has been here since the 1300s, I think it was. And it's in its current state. It's been considered decayed or derelict over the years, and it's been rebuilt a few times. But in its current state, it's been like this since 1693, I think it was. I'll have to look that up again when I go past. But it's a beautiful old church, a beautiful example of Swedish architecture, I think. And it's old. It's historic. It's been here for 350 years, possibly 400 years in its current state. So that's amazing. So I'll turn the camera around and film a little bit of it. I'll try and be quite quiet. I don't think there's any service going on at the moment. I didn't see anyone there, but out of respect, I'll keep my voice down. as said, what a wonderful church. I'm reading straight from the information board outside the church here, so I'm going to be a bit quiet and quite quick. But it seems like the church, according to this, was first mentioned in the 1380, and over the years it's decayed and been rebuilt. But the current church has been here since 1696. It was completed in 1696, which makes it around 330 years. That's quite an achievement. Renovated in 1914 to 1915 to the state it's in now. So, and now it's being preserved as a good example of a Baroque church. So it's been well maintained and preserved. I'm not even 100% sure if it's used, if it's still a place of worship or not. There's a cemetery attached, which is common, of course, in the UK and most countries which have a religion based in Christianity. And I've seen one visitor while I've been here, but I'm not sure if the church actually holds services anymore these days. I have a feeling it might not be every Sunday. I have a feeling it might be on special occasions, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I'll get myself out of here, sit on the outside there so I can talk a bit more. What a beautiful environment this church is in. It's about 8 kilometers, as I said, outside the city where I live, and I'm still blown away. I've been here for 20 plus years, and I think most of my free time I'm out in the forest, so I forget how much beauty there is and how other people live. Do I get jealous over that? I don't really envy other people for what they've got, and I don't really compare other people to what I haven't got. But of course there is a part of me that wishes so much that I could live in one of these houses here, you know. That would be wonderful. And then there's a part of me that wonders where all these small roads end up. There's so many small gravel roads. I'm sure I could probably cycle home a different way to what I came, around the other side of the lake, avoid that big cycle path altogether. I mean, there's a main road here. Where does that go? It'd be interesting to know if this church is still used for services. What I'll do, if I meet anyone else on the way home, I'm gonna stop them and ask them. I found that Swedish people are not that shy. They can be a bit worried, perhaps, if you approach them. But I think I've got quite a gentle face and quite a good demeanour, so I don't think I scare too many people. And once I actually say hello to them, can I ask you a question, I'm polite. They are very friendly. I've never had really anyone be obnoxious or unpleasant towards me. I've had people apologise that they can't help me. I think Swedes are generally very polite. They're not that different to English people in that sense, in that traditional sense. So very polite, humble, always happy to help. I think they are very proud in their country, so if you show a pride in their country, they're going to agree. They're going to be very happy. It's going to make their day, probably. I can imagine the old lady I talked to earlier. She went home, and if she's got someone to talk to, someone to share with, that she's now telling them about me, about the wonderful conversation she had with a strange talking Swedish guy. I think I mentioned that I was from England, actually. So that's about it for today. Thank you once again for joining me. It's been a great day. Got to see some things I haven't seen in years. Some things I wasn't even sure if they were of this city or not. So, but this church, it definitely exists. So that was a pleasant surprise, or at least a confirmation of that I suspected. Take care, everyone. Thank you once again. Bye bye.